welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I'm the Clumsy Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. This is my channel where I talk about all things cross stitch. If you are new here, a very warm welcome to you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back and spending some more time with me. I hope you've all been having a lovely December, drinking lots of mulled drinks and getting ready for the festive period. I know it's been quite busy at work and so I'm not feeling as Christmassy maybe as I would like, but we've got the tree up. I've had a few Christmas parties now, so definitely getting there. I've only got a couple of days left of work now as well before I'm off for about 10 days. So yeah, I think once that's out of the way, I'd start to feel a bit more Christmassy. We are having my parents and my sister up for Christmas, and my in-laws are coming round on Christmas Day as well. So we're having a big family Christmas, which I think it feels long overdue given the last 2 years where it's either been just me and my husband or my sister as well in 2020. So really excited to be able to have everybody round, and yeah, it's going to be manic, but I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that you're all getting ready and you're all feeling festive and that you're all looking forward to hopefully having a little bit of a break. So when I was planning this video, I didn't think I'd have that much to show. I think I'd planned on filming this like a couple of weeks ago, but then that fell through. So I've had a little bit more stitchy time. I've received something back which I'm really excited to show you, and I've just had a couple of news. I've really got into the festive stitching this year, a lot more than last year, so I've got a couple of new starts to show you as well. I think if we just get straight into it, I'm not planning on having this be a long video because I know there's so much Flossmas around at the moment that everyone's attention is being pulled in so many different ways, and I know lots of people are filming their whip parades as well, so there's an awful lot of content to watch. So I will try and keep this short and sweet and just update you on how things have been going with my projects. So first things first, I'm going to show you a non-festive one, and it's just one that I picked up for an evening last week. I just needed a little bit of a break from festive stuff, and so I picked my Study in Teal up by Peppermint Purple. So I'll pop in a picture of what it will look like when it's done. So this is a blackwork pattern, and it's essentially just lots of back stitch but to form a really beautiful pattern. And I will put in a picture of where it was when I last showed it to you. And so, like I say, I've only done an evening's work on this, but this is where I now am. Sorry, it's all very, I haven't serged these, so it's all frayed. So I've just been focusing on going across around the outside. I've had about 3 different ways I've wanted to stitch this, because originally I was going to stitch the inside and then start working right into the middle and do it basically quarter by quarter. But then I realised that actually, because this is a repeating pattern, once you get into the swing of things, you don't need to look. You're not looking at the pattern anymore. You're just you remember how you stitched the one before, and so you just stitch it the same way. And so I think what I'll end up doing is probably stitching all of this around the outside and coming into the middle in the layers, because then it becomes almost mechanical, but in a good way. And yeah, I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, so I've really enjoyed it. Like I say, it's only a night's work, but I was able to get I think all of these done. And so with like 5 more nights, then that's the entire border finished basically. So yes, really loving this. I am stitching this on 18 count white Aida, 1 strand over 1 count, and then I'm stitching it with DMC 3847, which is a bright teal. And I've said this before, but Peppermint Purple have loads of these study in colour name patterns, and I just love so many of them. So I'm really glad I've started this, and I hope I get to stitch a lot more because I really enjoyed it. The next piece I've got to show you is a new start. I have had a couple of new starts this month, with it being Christmas and all. So this is, actually I've got a PDF for this one. This was a Christmas present I received last year from my sister, because I saw the pattern on Etsy, and I don't think it's like my style really at all. I don't know if I have a style, but I saw it and I just fell in love with it immediately. So it is Christmas Morning by Samplers and Stitches. and it's got the line, "I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning." So that's just been in my head basically for 3 weeks now. Much to the frustration of my husband, because it's the only line I'm singing the entire time. But yeah, so that's what it will look like at the end. And this was a bit of a surprise start, I think. But I was just sat, it was a random, I was just sat on our stairs chatting to my friend, and we've got these 3 little ships, like little knickknacks, that were just sat on our windowsill on the stairs, and I was just looking at them, and it just made me think of the song, and then it made me think of this piece, and I was like, you know what, actually, I just really want to start that. And this is where I got to. So I got the words all along the bottom, and then I got the 3 ships in straight away. So you'll see mine looks quite different from the cover photo I just showed, because in the cover photo it was stitched on a brown fabric, and I've gone with Ether by Chromatic Alchemy, which never shows up quite right because it's so pale and the lighting today is horrific, but I don't know if you can kind of see it's changing. I don't know if you'll be able to see the pink showing up a little bit better there, but it's basically it's like goes from a pale blue to a pale pink, and I just thought it looked so gorgeous. I thought it just looked like clouds rolling in off the sea, and I just thought it was absolutely perfect. So I'm really pleased with this. So it's a 32 count even weave, and I'm stitching 2 strands over 2. Something else I got in my stocking last year, because yes, we still do stockings as a family, but I got this DMC variegated thread, which it's not showing up great, but you know what the word is, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I quite like, because I thought just festive colours, festive mix. But that is where I got to on that, and now I just got to, so it's all the white snow along the bottom I want to finish, and I need to get started on that big house. Part of when I started, because I started this at the end of November, and part of me was like, oh my god, if I do it, if I really focus on it, I can just get it done before Christmas. And then work just got busier and busier, and it just became less and less of a possibility. But I think I'm really pleased with the progress that I've made. So yeah, I just have to keep going on that. I've really been enjoying stitching that. I have done a full colour conversion as well, because it's charted in Gast, and it's a mixture. Actually, it's a mixture of overdyed flosses. And I don't have them, so I've done a DMC, they offer a DMC conversion, but then because I'm going from a brown fabric to a light blue, light pink fabric, I'm having to change quite a lot of the colours, and I don't know how comfortable I am. I feel very worried that it's just not going to turn out right, and so I'm really enjoying stitching it, but it's accompanied by a bit of anxiety I'm not used to, so if I just keep going, then I think I'll just feel more and more comfortable. So we'll see how it goes, but really, really loving stitching that so far. My next new start was completely impulsive. I was sat on the sofa yesterday morning, a bit hungover from work Christmas do the night before, and I was just like, just needed some peaceful, easy stitching. And so I thought I would pick up my next advent animal. So I've done 9 of these already out of 24, 25. I think there's 25 actually. And I did have a goal to do a lot more this year, but unfortunately that's not quite materialised. So I figured I'd squeeze one in hopefully before the year end. So I've started Sheila's sheep, and I'll pop in a quick picture. So it's our knitting sheep, and the more I'm stitching on this, the more I'm absolutely loving it. And then this is my progress from yesterday. This is stitched on a 32 count falling snow linen from Lakeside Needlecraft. And I don't know if you can see how well it's showing up, it's a bit see-through. But you can see like the dots on there. So as you can tell, it was very much a sofa day yesterday, just recovering and stitching and recovering and stitching. So I've just got to do the chair coming up round the side. I just love how once the back stitching is in, you'll see it a bit better, but she's just sitting on the edge of a chair knitting with her legs crossed, and it just made me laugh so much. I think when I add the back stitch into the face, that will look a little bit more normal, let's say, because at the moment it's a bit weird, but really, 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 I just love stitching these. Because they stitch up really quickly, because they're not like 50 by They're not very many stitches, I can never remember. And so, yeah, that is the progress I have made on that one. God, we're absolutely flying through these. So the next piece I have to show you is a start and a finish since last time. I can't even remember the last time I filmed on it. I can't remember if it was October or November. But I've had this piece in my collection for a little while, and I've been desperate to stitch it, and then again, it completely impulsively, just at the end of November, just picked it up and was like, you know what, I could make some good progress on this. And so this is a piece from the Mill Hill ornament collection. Oh God, I keep dropping it. Called Christmas Eve. Oh, I just absolutely love it. I think I saw this. I saw this on Mama Bear Stitchery's YouTube channel a while ago, and I was just like, I have to stitch that. So I'll try and zoom in a bit so you can see more. Oops, more of the beads. There you go. So it's not very many stitches at all, and the beading is. I really enjoy the beading on these patterns. And so I've just made a hanging loop with beads from another ornament kit I did last year, one of the snowflake kits, so it can just hang on our tree. And then I cut out the perforated paper like it tells you to, just around the outside, and I've just glued some green felt on the back. So I absolutely love it. I think it's so beautiful. And every time I stitch a Mill Hill, I'm like, I really want to stitch more of these. I think last year I said I was going to stitch all of the snowflakes, which I would still like to do. But the kits like these are just so lovely as well. They've got a pine cone one that I really love. So that is that one. The final piece I have to share with you is one I am incredibly excited about. It is a fully finished object. I've been and taken it to get professionally done because I really want. I had a vision and I knew I couldn't personally deliver it. So this is my Winter Wonderland piece that was on the road for a finish last time. I think after the video, I was suddenly really motivated to just get it done, because I really wanted to hang it up for Christmas, and I was just able to speed through the last bit so much quicker than I expected. And then I took it to the framers in town here, and I was expecting them to say like 2 to 3 week turnaround time, but I took it in on a Saturday and they were literally like, oh yeah, we'll have it for you by Thursday. And I was like, what? So it's been hanging up in the house for like over 2 weeks. It was one of the first Christmas decorations to go up. I've been absolutely loving staring at it. I'm just so chuffed it's been up. I'm just really happy with it. Showing you is, I've refilmed this about 3 times now because it is a bit of a nightmare, because obviously there's lots of glare and I've got a big window there, close the curtains over there, but I've got the Christmas tree opposite me. So we'll do our best, but this is, let me see. There we go. This is Winter Wonderland by Historique Stevenstone. And so I decided to go for a red mount that matches the red in the piece. And then I've gone for quite a plain wooden frame, but it has got like a ridge. I don't know if that's going to show up properly, but you can see it's a bit grainy and there's a ridge. Because I was looking at quite not ornate, but like patterned frames, but realised that actually because the white in the stitching is it has quite an intricate effect when you're looking at kind of the whole picture. Wanted to keep the frame quite simple so that the intricacy of the stitching remained the focus essentially. But I'm absolutely obsessed. It's hanging over near our dining room table, so we'll have it up at Christmas. So some quick facts if you've not seen this before. This is stitched on a 28 count Cashel linen in the colourway taupe. Stitched 2/2 with the called for colours, but replaced B5200 with Blanc. I started this in December 2020 and finished it in November 22. shockingly long time really in the grand scheme of things, but there were quite a few breaks in the middle. But that has been all of my stitching. I feel like I've been able to get quite a lot done considering that work's been really busy and it's just been quite a stressful time. There's been lots of stuff going on and not much weekend time available. So I'm really, really chuffed with everything. I've really been enjoying stitching Christmas stuff, especially because I've not been feeling so Christmassy. So stitching on Christmas stuff I think has bridged a gap for me there. Just a couple of quick other shout outs, I suppose. I've been watching not loads of Flossmas, unfortunately I've not had very much time, but I have been watching Mama Loves You GB. I love her Flosstube, her Flossmas every year. It's just really been enjoying seeing her past finishes and current progress. She's stitching a prairie schooler called Evergreen, and I just really, really love that piece. So that's gone on my list and it's been really nice seeing more updates on that. I've also been watching Penrose Knits. So she is a British knitter, so she doesn't do any cross stitch. But she's been doing Vlogmas and I just really love her videos. They just make me feel really really cozy. It's just really British. It's just, it's just a really, really enjoyable watch, and it's just a really, really comforting series to have watched in December. So yeah, really recommend going to check out both of those Flossmases. They've been really enjoyable. From a haul perspective, I've not picked up anything new. My new starts were stuff I already had, but I think what I'm going to start doing is a new section called If I Had a Million Hours, which you can sing along to the tune of Simon and Garfunkel. Editing Sarah here. I said Simon and Garfunkel. I was convinced it was Simon and Garfunkel. It's actually the Bare Naked Ladies. I apologise. Basically, I get enabled constantly, but it's reached a point now where I feel guilty about the whips I am not finishing or not even starting at home. And so I've created a list for myself called If I Had a Million Hours, where basically if I had more time in the day, this is what I would absolutely start stitching. And so I just wanted to shout out a couple of newer designs that have come up since my last video, because if I can't be enabled, then maybe I can enable some of you, and I can enjoy it vicariously through you. So the first one is Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery has announced his 2023 stitch along, and it is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. I still haven't stitched Fruits of Plenty, which was 2021, and I absolutely love that piece. So I'm still waiting to stitch that. But it's just huge. And then I think the same, he said that the 2023 cross stitch is a companion piece for the 2021 design. So yeah, I just absolutely love both of them, and I would 100% stitch them if I had more time and knew I could get them finished in less than 10 years. So yeah, I've hopefully been putting them some pictures so you can see what they look like, because they are really, really gorgeous. Somebody else who started launching a lot of new designs since my last video is Sam, who is Little Loop Stitching on Instagram. She's launched her own website this year, and some of the designs that she has been sharing are amazing. There's one in particular called Northern Edge, and I just love it. It is absolutely stunning, and I would stitch it tomorrow if I knew again that I could finish it within 10 years. But no, I definitely, at some point, I know I'm going to get that and I will stitch it. I just need to prioritise other stitching first, I think. But no, I just absolutely love it. And I'd recommend going to check out her website, because she's got a lot of new designs up there, and there's not one I don't think I wouldn't stitch if I didn't have more time, but they're really, really nice. And the last one is more of a Christmassy one. This is Mama Witch Cross Stitch has launched a design called Shiny, I think it is, and it's basically an angler, but the light in front of him is a Santa hat bauble hat look, and I saw it and I almost purchased it immediately. It was going to be an incredibly impulsive new start for me, because with my I even knew the fabric I was going to do it on, because I was going to cut off a bit of the blue from my Link and Zelda piece. And I had to restrain myself. It was only because everything had been so busy. I was like, no, you really cannot justify starting something else when you've just started 3 new Christmas projects. But it's gone on my list, and I think I will probably get that relatively soon. Because I just thought it looked really, and it was a small one as well. So in my head I was like, oh well, I could probably squeeze that in somewhere. But not while I have my Advent Animals pieces still dramatically outstanding. So yeah, I love seeing all these new designs. I love seeing I love seeing everyone else's reaction to it as well, because it's just like, I don't know, it's the whole community thing really, isn't it? And so I just wanted to share those. But yeah, I'll probably keep doing this section in the new year as well, because I'm hoping it'll just scratch a bit of an itch for me in my brain, where if I talk about it, maybe I don't need to start them straight away. So yeah, I really, really love all of those designs, and definitely want to stitch all of them, but maybe when I just have a bit more time and less full coverages on the go. We shall see. For the rest of the year, obviously, so I'm filming this on the 18th of December. Like I say, I've got a couple more days at work, and then my family are coming on Friday, which is the 23rd. They're staying for 10 days, but I am hoping, or well, I will make it happen where I want to film my yearly wrap up, where I do a finished parade of items I've finished in the year, my whip parade to go through all my whips, and then when I do my whip parade, it kind of helps me plan for the next year as well. So I'm hoping to film that. It'll probably be around the 27th, 28th, but I don't know when it'll go live, because then I need to find the time to edit it as well. And it always just takes a bit longer because I've got to find all my old photos and everything like that. But definitely want to get that up this year, ready for 2023. That does mean this is my last video before Christmas. So I hope for those of you celebrating that you all have a really lovely time filled with lots of laughter and love and lots of food. And I will speak to you again in about 10 days, hopefully. We shall see. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.